All right, folks, humanity is truly slipping into the chasm of no return. We have crossed the threshold of absolute insanity. Let's talk about that today.
The following program is brought to you by friends and partners of End Time Headlines.
All right, what's up, everyone? This is End Time Headlines, news and headlines from a prophetic perspective. We want to welcome you to the broadcast tonight. If you are new to the program, we want to welcome you to the program. We cover a lot of headlines and we cover a lot of stories, and we try to give you those headlines and those stories from a viewpoint of Bible prophecy and where the world's leading, where it's heading, and the climate in which we're in from a prophetic perspective. So if you'd like to know more about our ministry, or if you'd like to know how to follow us, we want to encourage you to download our free app. It's available on Apple. It's available on Android. Go to your Play Store. Again, download it. It's free. Hit the yes to push notifications, and you're going to catch every headline and every podcast just like this one when it's readily available. All right, here's our first story. The U.S. Navy, who is experiencing a massive difficulty in getting new recruits, has now resorted to using a drag queen influencer in order to influence younger people to sign up for the U.S. Navy. This is unbelievable. Check out this clip.
Queen influencer to help persuade new recruits into joining the military. Yeoman second class Joshua Kelly, who goes by Harpy Daniels, announced back in November that he was the Navy's new digital ambassador. Their attempts to increase interest among young people amongst a historic recruitment crisis. A survey from the Ronald Reagan Institute found that only 13% of 18 to 29-year-olds are highly willing to join the military.
Wait, what? So basically what you're saying is our last resort, the only thing, the last card that we can play on the table is bringing in a drag queen performer, because this is what's going to be the thing that's going to get people to be persuaded to join the U.S. Navy.
What is the Pentagon doing, trying to get new recruits by hiring a drag queen to bring new recruits in? What? We're going for, really? You think that's going to bring soldiers in, is the drag queen? And they're saying, well, it's just people are too fat. Kids can't go. They're just too fat. I don't know. There's got to be somebody else but fatties that can do it. This is your plan to overcome that, is hire a drag queen to appeal to guys coming into the military.
Seems to be a more direct line to just kind of come up with roles for fat people. This is America. We're here. We're proud. We're fat.
We're gonna make the tank hole a little bigger.
Yeah, just adjust.
I
don't know. Drop us on the enemy if you need to. Whatever you need to do to come up with a way to use us fatties, do it. I would say there's a higher percentage chance you're going to come up with enough people to come through the military when you go to overweight than you do drag queens.
Guys, seriously, we're at the point where we either laugh or we're going to cry. We have to laugh in order to lose our minds or cry about this stuff. I mean, this is unbelievable. And we're not even halfway through the program yet. We've got more insane stuff. How about this story out of India? A bridal magazine, a popular bridal magazine in India, puts a bearded trans feminine activist in dress on its cover. Now, we've got some folks from the Daily Wire. I'm going to let you hear some of their insight on this, so check this out.
So shocking. It's the cover of Brides magazine. Now, you would assume the person that we were going to see would be a bride. You would assume the person you're going to see would be a woman. Instead, Brides of India is featuring Alok Vaid-Menon in his full beard and wearing a sari dress. It says that he's a gender non-conforming author and activist decked out in traditional Indian women's wear, heavy makeup, very...
I apologize for all you guys that are watching this broadcast and not listening.
Saris and decadent jewelry. Vaid uses they, them pronouns and goes by their first name. Obviously, this is a grown man. We should be saying he. What is the reason that they decided to put him on the cover of Brides magazine? Well, it says that he told the magazine about spending his entire life as a victim and bullying for choosing to live as his authentic self and embracing a degendered style, which they describe as a no guidelines form of storytelling. So again, I will ask the question, what is guiding these sorts of decisions? Why is it that when the people behind these magazines see mental illness, see internal hurt and struggle, they pursue it and they glamorize it and they put it on the cover of a magazine for young people to consume? What is the thought process behind it? I think it's really important to talk about culture in this way, and for me to not just talk about it as being pervasive and perverse, but also as being demonic, because it is. We have to have the courage to use those terms, demonic and satanic. I know people a lot of times in today's world cringe when they hear spiritual terms, but realize that if you are afraid to talk about spirituality, you are in a very mild manner assisting the left, because they aren't afraid to talk about aspirituality. They aren't afraid to do things that are devilish and are demonic. And I will end this by letting you guys listen to the Venerable Fulton Sheen discuss this phenomenon very briefly. Take a listen.
We have almost forgotten that we are in a great mortal combat. The battle of the forces of good and the forces of evil. Today we are beginning either to domesticate the devil,
Wow.
or else to deny him. God's definition of himself is, I am who am. The devil's definition of himself is, I am who am not. He is most powerful when he is denied.
And you know what's really sad about that? Is that we got a lot of people that call themselves Christians and they deny spiritual warfare. They deny the existence of Satan. They deny hell, the literal, as literal. They deny it. There's a lot of Christian seminaries and denominations that deny the very existence of hell. And you know, the Bible says that even demons believe and tremble, but yet many professed Christians don't have this perspective of this, that Satan is alive and well. And man, how true is that? We've either, and we have domesticated this. Society is now, like I said at the beginning of this, we've slipped over into the chasm of insanity that we, instead of fighting the devil, instead of resisting the devil and the demons of hell, we have laid a plate out for them at dinner. We've got a welcome mat out in front of our house. We're snuggling up to them in bed, watching them on television, reading them in books, and allowing hell to come right into our family units. Now let's see what Ben Shapiro had to say about this. Now again, I said you got to laugh at some of these things, or you're just going to cry and lose your mind. So I thought some of the stuff he had to say here was pretty funny about this. So let's check this out.
Alrighty, folks. So I've gotten used to seeing men in place of women in particular advertising, but I will admit that I did not expect to see a very, very hairy man on the cover of Brides Today India edition. All right, so apparently there is a magazine called Brides Today, and Brides Today in India has a special feature. Oh no. Oh no. The special feature is of a dude, a gender non-conforming. I know this is a dude because this person has more hair than the carpet in this entire office. I mean, this person is just covered in human hair. My goodness, the levels of testosterone running through this person's body, it could populate entire worlds, apparently. And truly amazing stuff. In conversation with Brides Today, and this is a dude who's dressed up in Indian bridal garb, as in the country of India. In conversation with brides today, gender nonconforming and trans feminine author, performance artist, poet, and comedian Alok Vaid-Menon, who performs under the moniker Alok, makes a compelling case for love is love. Brides, here's the interview. Brides today says, you look absolutely fabulous in these photographs. Tell us how you style Indian wear. Okay, so first of all, lie. You do not look absolutely fabulous. You look like a horror show. I'm sorry, you're the one who put yourself on cover of a magazine. Once you put yourself on the cover of a magazine, declare yourself beautiful, then we all get to comment on it. And
True.
Nope. It's going to be a big nope right here. My goodness. Alex says in the U.S. Indian diaspora, we're only expected to wear Indian ensembles for community events like weddings and holidays. However, I like donning Indian outfits across occasions. Indian wear is elegant, vibrant, and timeless. Why would we deny the world its beauty? Sometimes I combine Indian wear with Western-style clothing. That's the fun in fashion. It's playfulness. It's hybridity. Well, I mean, that isn't like, there's traditional male Indian clothing as well. Brides today says, how would you define your personal style? And he says, style is mobile poetry. There are no guidelines. I dress to be joyful, to enhance my capacity for awe or amazement in this world. I dress for me. Okay, first of all, that is the biggest crock of crap. Okay, people generally dress for each other. You know how you know this? Because when you're at home and it's time for bed, you don't put on a tux. You put on some PJs. You look like a schlub because you're dressing for you now, to be comfortable.
All right, so again, I had to stop it right there because you could just feel your brain just slipping away. So again, this it's hard to even get through some of these segments because it's insane. Speaking of insanity, since we're on this boat, let's just keep sailing, shall we? How about this story? There are multiple companies that are, listen to this, sending out trigger warnings ahead of Mother's Day. Now, you guys already know where this is going, right? You already know where this is going.
Mother's Day is just around the corner, which means that it's time for some woke virtue signaling from corporate America. Every holiday is an occasion for woke virtue signaling. Of course, every day in general is an occasion. But Mother's Day presents a unique opportunity. And this year, the virtue signaling is taking on a perhaps slightly unexpected form. The Daily Wire reports, quote, major corporations and businesses are sending out emails offering a chance to opt out of Mother's Day related communications. In a viral thread posted Sunday, Twitter account Arizona Informer posted more than a dozen screenshots from businesses sending Mother's Day opt-out offers, noting the similar language used in the emails and equating the trend with anti-family activism. Arizona Informer captioned, something very strange is happening with big corporations. Out of nowhere, Kroger-owned Fry's Food Store, Kay Jewelers, Hallmark, and now DoorDash have all sent opt-out of Mother's Day emails to their customer base. This is not organic, the account charged. This reeks of anti-family activism. We understand that Mother's Day may be a difficult time for some, a message from DoorDash said, adding an option to be removed from additional emails and push notifications relating to the holiday. A message from Kay Jewelers said, we know Mother's Day can be a challenging time, which is why we want to know if you'd rather not receive Mother's Day related email.
Okay, now think about that for a second. We know Mother's Day can be a challenging time, which is why we want to know if you'd rather not receive Mother's Day related emails. Really? So so we're going to stop celebrating? Are we just going to do away with Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas? Let's just do because any of those can be difficult times. People can equate these other holidays to difficult times. You know how many people lose their family members or somebody dies or whatever the case may be, a tragedy during Christmas or Thanksgiving, or someone died serving our country, to die for our country, for our freedoms most of that we're losing. What about those? But really, Mother's Day, I did not know. Was you aware that Mother's Day is that offensive? It's so grossly offensive that these major corporations are sending out these memos to opt out because they don't want to offend anyone, because apparently Mother's Day is offensive. And you guys, come on, you already know why. So let's go on.
Quote, with Mother's Day coming up, we understand this can be a difficult time of year for some. Read a similar email from Nespresso. If you would like to opt out of Mother's Day emails, you can simply click below. Levi's, Ancestry, MAC Cosmetics, Stitch Fix, Bye Bye Baby, Etsy, and others were some of the other companies included in the thread. The list is even longer than this, by the way. Seemingly all at
Of course
once,
it is.
major companies across the spectrum have jumped on the Mother's Day opt-out train, and this is one of the hallmarks of wokeism, is that the new form of virtue signaling pops up out of nowhere, and in the blink of an eye, everyone is expected to embrace it, even if they have no idea why they're embracing it.
So remember, the Kroger-owned Fry's food stores, I thought this was interesting. Let me point this out. For instance, shared an opt-out message which read in part, quote, "We know Mother's Day and Father's Day can be sensitive times for some." Now look at this. The company's website also includes an LGBT Pride Month celebration page. Well, of course. Featuring the transgender flag and Human Rights Campaign equality logo. HRC also advocates for same-sex parenting and families on its website. So none of this is sensitive to anyone, and if it is, then you're just, too bad. You're just going to have to accept it, and this is what you're going to have to embrace. This is the new normal. But all you crazy people out there that still hasn't got offended over Mother's Day and Father's Day, well, something's obviously wrong with you because it's so sensitive and offensive to others. Now, let's just get real here. Why is Mother's Day, and we'll just throw Father's Day in here as well, why are they offensive? Because, of course, that means we would have to identify a specific gender for a mother or a father. Therefore, we cannot do that, and it's offensive and it's sensitive. All right, here, I'm going to give you one more story right here. And this took place in Ohio. I know you're shocked because nothing ever crazy or insane happens in Ohio. But again, this happened in Ohio at a local school. And again, folks, this is the new normal, so you might as well embrace it and get ready for it. Here it is. Ready?
School made history by crowning 2 LGBTQ plus students, seniors Deshaun Conley and Rose Green, as prom king and queen.
Well, now the Board of Education is hearing from residents in the community who want to prevent something similar from happening again.
Oh, what? They want to prevent it? But why? This is normal. This is the new societal normal. So why are they trying to prevent it? Why are these hate mongers not jumping on board with this?
News reporter Seth Bird was at tonight's school board meeting and the protest beforehand, where people came together to support the teens.
Even when I was given the crown and I put it on my head, there was a lot of boos in the crowd. I didn't hear them. I only heard the congratulating, which I was very thankful for.
Despite support from peers, Conley and non-binary senior Rose Green received negative feedback online. It was hurtful to Conley, and it took her time to heal.
Oh, and by the way, the hurtful content online, this is what got a pastor here in America a sentence from a judge that got him banned from social media for 5 years, and he's facing jail time because you ready for this? I know this is going to sound crazy, but he actually had a different opinion and he didn't agree with it. And he thought it was sensitive to him or offensive to him. But apparently that wasn't the right answer or the response, and it cost him.
Very demeaning, and it takes a lot for an individual to be able to bring themselves back to who they are and believing in themselves and being fully confident and not letting things like that pull them out of who they are as a person.
So again, who they are, and here we go again, guys, with this. Who they are as a person is always related to their sexual identity. When did this become our identity? I'm just saying, I didn't get the memo of this. I never knew that I'm identified, and my identity came through my sexual identity or my gender. I didn't know that's what defines me as a person.
Many haters, there was plenty of support as seen at a rally before the Board of Education meeting.
Absolutely, every kid should have the opportunity to be prom king, prom queen, anything they want to be. So I support the school and the students voting for who they want to be prom queen and king. I love that the community is here backing up these kids, and some kids are here as well, speaking out for what they believe in and supporting their friends and their family here.
Inside the meeting, some community members shared a different opinion. For Joe Hoverholzer, he believes prom king and queen should be a biological male and female.
Well, how archaic of that guy to think of that.
For the last few years, throughout all of history in the world, it's kind of been understood. So,
Well, wake up, Mr. Joe. We're living in a different time, and your thoughts are no longer accepted there, bud.
So, for whatever reason, the last few years, it's been questioned, and I just don't think that's a good thing for society.
The Kettering City Schools Board of Education has no intention of taking any action, as they typically let student council handle the prom event.
All right, so I think we've done enough today. We've went almost 30 minutes and showed you that, again, society is slipping over into the chasm of insanity and no return. The world, here's the sad part, the world that you and I grew up with, and we grew up to know, and I say world because it's not just the United States, the whole world is got on board with all this stuff. The whole world is changing before our eyes. And the world we lived in is gone. It is over. It's not coming back. Listen, the only hope, is the coming of the Lord. Nobody's going to straighten this out. Nobody's going to fix it. The only way this is going to get changed is when Jesus Christ returns as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And listen, I got bad news for somebody out there that's listening. If you don't like that, too bad. He's not going to ask your opinion. He's not going to take a vote. He's not going to take a poll, a survey. He's coming back and he's ruling with a rod of iron. He's not coming back as a lowly servant and giving his life as a ransom for many as he did over 2,000 years ago. This time he's coming back as King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and he's setting up his kingdom for 1,000 years where he will rule and reign, and the word of God will be his measuring rod, whether you like it or not. And so listen, folks, again, endtimeheadlines.org, endtimeheadlines.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. If you like content like this, you'll be notified. Again, download our free app. It's available on Apple. It's available on Android. When you get it, hit yes to push notifications, and you're going to be set to go. And as always, if you'd like to support this ministry, you can do so. If you wish to give by check or money order, you can do it by End Time Headlines, P.O. Box 1391, Monroe, Georgia 30655, or you can give the easiest way is electronically through the app right there at the bottom of your screen. So again, we appreciate you coming on to the broadcast. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, hit the push notifications on Rumble, on YouTube, and all of the above. So we will see you guys right here for your next prophetic viewpoint. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to the End Time Headlines podcast. We pray that you've been blessed and equipped by today's message. For more information about how you can help partner with our ministry, please visit endtimeheadlines.org.